Stay alive or be alive? That is the question. Stay hypnotized in your anxious, self-obsessed story, scrambling to keep it all together and longing for some delusional happily ever after. Or let go. Throw yourself into the world and be an active participant in the wildly creative dance called life. That's the meaningful question from which Shakespeare's to be or not to be ultimately stems. Because why be here at all, if not to experience the fullness of living, to become your true self, to be who you really are instead of who you've been trained to be? Look, we're nearing the end of this program, so let's cut through to the very heart of these ideas. And let's start by asking ourselves a question, one that many believe is the ultimate question. What's it all about? For years, I would sing the first line of that Burt Bacharach song over and over again to my mother every time I saw her. I'd say, "What's it all about, Alfie?" I was dying to know. What's the meaning of life? Why am I here? What's my purpose? And I struggled for years to figure it out and to relieve this psychological tension that I felt. Because I wanted to explain everything to myself so that I could get a handle on it, right? My unanswered question eventually turned into a loving inside joke. Right? I'd sing, "What's it all about, Doris?" But what I never realized until quite recently is that my mom's reaction to my question, her silent smile, was not a smile of bemusement, but rather of deep understanding. It was a simple sign of acceptance, both of her unique dance with the world and of her awareness that I would eventually give up my incessant searching and dance my dance as well. Because she learned that what's it all about is a meaningless question. It's not about anything. Life is not a scripted story. There is no plot, no perfect ending, no teleological why. Go ahead, search to your brain's content, or discontent really, but you will never find a stable story or a predestined purpose or path. Look, everything in life is about everything. And the mysterious nature of life is known to each of us in our own unique way, by engaging with the world and by expressing our inner truths wherever we find ourselves and whatever we happen to be doing. That is how you discover your essence. That is how you find personal significance and feel the vitality, the beauty, and the meaning in existence. I know, it sounds trite, doesn't it? Like cliche. It's like Billy Crystal's character in the movie City Slickers, holding up his index finger near the end of the movie to reveal the ultimate lesson of his 2-hour, highly scripted hero journey. The meaning of life is one thing, and it's different for everybody. You see, but the big reveal in that movie, which most people either overlook or dismiss, was the very last scene, where upon his return home, in reuniting with his family, Crystal's transformed character articulated that one thing when he said, "No, I'm not going to quit my job. I'm just going to do it better. I'm going to do everything better." By exhausting his cynical Coleridge mind, by surrendering to life and opening up to its full, unknowable unfolding, he discovered the truth of existence, which is to be passionate and intentional in his choices, to be the best him he could be in all situations, and to not take himself and his circumstances so damn seriously, to be loving, spontaneous, and playful, to be alive. You see, meaning and purpose are not found in what you do, but rather in how you uniquely go about doing it. It's discovered in your imperfect dance, in your aspirations and originality, in curiosity, in compassion and creativity. But that's not what society and your storytelling mind wants you to believe. No. I mean, as the director of your hero story, Coleridge wants you to find validation and meaning in some future achievement, either a goal to accomplish or some fulfillment state like material goods, status, or recognition. No one ever tells you that the real hero's journey is a journey into yourself. Living fully and consciously isn't a linear goal, it's a circular one. Rather than life being a narrative about moving forward and getting somewhere through action, attainment, accumulation, happily ever after, it's really poetic. It's about turning your various experiences inward to come to the center of your own existence, to find and unite with your essence. And then out of that center, action naturally emerges to bring that inner spirit, your unique truth, to the world. It may be hard to see, but you are your meaning. You are purpose. I know, it sounds strange. It's like a paradox. Have you ever heard of a koan? Okay, so a koan is a statement that seems like a riddle. It's one the reasoning mind can't solve. Zen Buddhists use those paradoxical statements to blow people's minds and open up a crack to intuitive enlightenment, a sudden greater truth about life. In fact, someone once said that a paradox is simply a truth standing on its head to get people's attention. What's the sound of one hand clapping? People think that's a koan, but I knew a guy in high school who solved it. He would raise one hand, he would relax his wrist and his long fingers, and then whip the hell out of it, causing his flapping fingers to slap against his palm. One hand clapping. It was hilarious. Now that's not the actual koan. Instead, the Zen master said, "We all know that when we bring our two hands together sharply, they create a loud sound. What is the sound of one hand?" Look, with all due respect to Zen orthodoxy, it really doesn't matter how it's phrased. What matters is the spirit that the koan evokes. And so the guy I knew with the limber wrist, he didn't know it, but in that hand-flapping moment, he was enlightened. He let his unique spirit emerge, and everyone around him lightened up and enjoyed the moment. Do you see? Now here's something I bet you didn't know. You are a koan. Yeah, you. You sit and question who you are and what it is all about from your hero's perspective, and your reasoning mind struggles because it's an insoluble puzzle. It's like pausing a movie before the end of the movie and trying to figure out what the protagonist is all about. Right? Who is this Dorothy Gale with the pigtail braids really? A lost timid girl from Kansas? What's she all about? You can't tell, because what really matters is her spirit, what she evokes in herself and in others that she encounters during her unplanned journey, because that's what illuminates everyone's journey. Do you see this? Doing what moves you awakens the spirits of others, and then through that shared vitality changes the world. Kierkegaard wrote, "Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced." There you have it. Life isn't a job to be done. It's a koan. And so are you. So stop trying to solve it and instead open up and live it. Being alive is being in the moment and feeling one with your essence, the life force of the universe, and expressing that feeling by how you live. period. Perhaps, like John Keats, you express your essence in writing in order to convey your truth and contribute to the world. Or you may teach, lead, or care for people, or dance, sing, or speak on stage, or contemplate the nature of the universe, or create a nonprofit or business that improves people's lives or adds a bit of joy. Or you may do your job and raise your family in the best way that you can, and similarly, be the absolute best friend, co-worker, and neighbor. Or you may do a bit of all of those things. Whatever you do, be intentional and consciously lift the spirits of everyone you encounter with your truth, with your unique quality of presence. I know, a bit of this and a bit of that, really? And so what about focus, achievement, goals? Go ahead, set goals, embrace goals. It gives your director, Coleridge, something to work on. Otherwise, he'll be anxious and in your ear. Plus, like children playing hide and seek, a goal will concentrate your energy and make the experience more exciting, more fun. But after you set your goal, forget about it and embrace the process. Right? It's like a great conversation. You're not trying to win an argument to get to the end, tethering your happiness to the achievement of some outcome. And you're not clinging to it, hoping that it will never end. You're simply enjoying the moment and soaking in the experience. The author and entrepreneur Seth Godin put it quite well when he said, "Life is like skiing. Just like skiing, the goal is not to get to the bottom of the hill. It's to have a bunch of good runs before the sun sets." Do you see? Strive to have a great run. Do your best to achieve your objectives. Look, if you plant a garden, do your best to tend it and help it flourish. But enjoy the feeling of the moist dirt between your fingers and the joy of watching life emerge. If you decide to write a novel, yes, strive for excellence. Write the best damn novel that you can write. But enjoy the craft and the serendipitous connections and surprising discoveries. If you play a sport, prepare with passion. Play it to win. But for God's sakes, be humble and play with lightness and joy and treat your opponents with respect. Never forget that you're not doing it because you want to achieve something. You already have what you are seeking, the opportunity and excitement of doing what you want to do, of living fully, giving yourself to the experience without the need to control it or gain from it. Lao Tzu wrote, "When there is no desire, all things are at peace." You see, actually, it's not desire that creates the problem. Desire is the dynamic force that animates life. It's expectations in clinging, the desire for something more, or for the experience to be different, or to never change or end. There's a well-known survey in sports. It's known as the Goldman Dilemma, where researchers asked elite athletes whether they would take a drug that guaranteed them a gold medal, but would also kill them within 5 years. Do you know that more than half of the athletes said yes? They thought that the goal, the medal, was more important than living. You see, and that's what makes goals so problematic for most people. They become hypnotized by them. Instead of setting a goal to temporarily concentrate their energy, they use them to turn on their storytelling minds. They create a future picture where everything turns out just the way they want, with a better life and identity. If only They win the big game, get the degree, own the big house, get the promotion, make the millions, get the guy. Jesus. So for some other people, it's about making sure that their picture doesn't change, right? Maintaining their story is their goal. They erroneously believe that if their situations stay more or less the same, they'll be safe and secure. You know the old saying, better the devil you know. Look, life simply is what it is. Everything and everyone changes and everything ends. So let go of comfort and certainty and let your life be a uniquely flawed and beautiful reflection of the fullness of your spirit. If you are dancing with the imperfect, chaotic world, doing what it is that you desire in the moment because you are being you, because it's joyful and meaningful, then there are no expectations because you already have it. You've let go of your attachment to a specific result and are floating in the invigorating sea of uncertainty. No resisting, no grasping. You see, attachment is a perpetual drowning, driven by fear and insecurity. Freedom and peace is an unquestioning faith in the power of your true self, trusting that the universe will provide for you what you need when you need it. I find it really interesting. We trust our body, the most incredible and complex structure on earth, to get us through life. But we just can't seem to relax and trust ourselves. Have you ever seen the movie Kon-Tiki? It's about a guy who sets sail on a balsa wood raft from South America to prove that Polynesia was populated with humans from Peru. Once he surrendered to his desire and set his idea in motion, all sorts of unexpected factors cooperated with him. The balsa wood expanded in the water and bit into the hemp ropes, creating a tight seal, resistant to the stresses of the ocean waves. Every morning, edible flying fish would land on the raft, providing nourishment for the challenging day ahead. Yes, he measured and made a raft, but then he stopped measuring and made an act of faith, one that took him 4,300 miles in 101 days and made his idea a reality. Sadly, that sentiment is antithetical to today's compulsive measurement and goal-obsessed culture, an anxiety-fueled zeitgeist that's sucking the spirit out of people. You see, in our dogged pursuit of knowledge, goals, and comparison, we have forgotten to live, to subdue self-concern, set sail, and to open up fully to our experiences, to embrace our empathetic impulses and imaginative creativity. See, it all comes down to your intentions, don't you see? I mean, one of the most famous verses from this ancient Sanskrit text, known as the Upanishads, declares, "You are what your deepest desire is. As your desire is, so is your intention. As your intention is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny." If your deep intention is enjoyment, freedom, and compassion, then your thoughts and actions and practices align with those desired aims. However, if you are stressed and unhappy, in an obsessive, goal-driven, compulsive life, and if you are making those around you feel the same way, then you are lost in a foolish drama, one of control, fear, and insecurity. You may not be aware of it, but that is your intention. It's like eating food that you dislike in order to achieve your ideal macronutrient ratio. You don't enjoy what you're doing, but after all, you are achieving your goals. Talk about insanity. I mean, you may have achieved success in life, but what kind of success was it? You never did what you really wanted to do. Instead, the means and ends, your intentions and your goals, should dance together. And in this process-oriented way of living, Keats should always lead, because intentions become self-fulfilling. Your intentions will attract the necessary and, more importantly, the compatible ideas, resources, and people to help you manifest those intentions. Change your intentions, it will change the people who are attracted to you and change your outcomes. You see, intend for everything to work out as it should, then let go and allow opportunities and openings to come your way. Bob Dylan said, everybody's got to serve somebody. And he is absolutely right. But that doesn't mean that you have to derail your true intentions and alienate yourself from your authentic passion. Just be very conscious of who that somebody is and make absolutely sure that he or she or them in turn is serving you in your unique spirit. Look, short of living alone in a hut like Thoreau, you simply cannot resist the influence of your environment. Trust me, I've tried. Therefore, choosing that environment, your various scenes, and the people in those scenes is one of the most important decisions you can make. Because your inner spirit wants to lose itself in something larger than itself. An idea it really cares about and that can be shared with others. So what's a scene? Well, right now there's a digital economy scene going on in places like Mountain View, Menlo Park, San Francisco, and Beijing. The movie-making scene is presently happening in cities like LA, Austin, Chicago, and New York. In the 1860s, the first modern art scene emerged in Paris. We now refer to those innovative malcontents, people like Cézanne and Pissarro and Manet, as impressionists. The beat scene, which heavily influenced American culture and brought us the literary works of people like Allen Ginsberg and William S. Burroughs and Jack Kerouac, that blossomed in Greenwich Village in the 1950s. There are also various sports scenes, Vegas for boxing. There are music scenes, like the Memphis Blues, and food scenes, Napa for wine. A scene is a location where people of similar desires and worldviews gather. It's a richly interdependent community of talents and opportunities. And due to the power and ubiquity of the internet, many scenes are now taking place online. We're having an amazing scene taking root as well, right here. But there are also work scenes and drug scenes and bar scenes and gang scenes. The key to choosing a scene, to deciding whether or not to enter one, whether to stay in one or move on from one, is to ask yourself, are these people and experiences inspiring my best self, my Keats? Are they all sincere players or a bunch of serious characters? Is there a heartfelt exchange of ideas in support of each other's uniqueness and passions? If so, stay and grow. But if not, if you've been fooled too many times, move on. Do you know that expression? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If you ever find that you've been fooled 3 times, get the hell off of that stage and out of that scene. Remember, as Goethe made clear, what is important in life is life and not the result of life. Life is too short to suffer self-induced frustration for results' sake. Get away from those characters and find some players who will shine a light on your unique spirit, enliven your passions, and help release your amazing potential. Tom Petty was spot on. You belong somewhere you'll feel free, because you are not a character in a story defined by an imaginary past and future. You are the life force of the universe dancing with other life forces. And now that you are in a particular scene, relax, flow, and forget about the world. Do your dance. Don't care about what people think about you. Don't react unconsciously to the world around you. That's not your business. Your business is to be you, the unique one-time expression of the universe, and to bring that energy to life through your creations. So expect nothing. Accept everything. Come alive and let the world react to you. Let them be drawn to you in your experience and your unique presence. Like, I have this crazy idea that the modern world is like a giant amusement park, overflowing with amazing plants and animals and sights and sounds, and alive with fantastic inventions, people, and experiences. It's like one of those lively summer fairs that rolls into town, which offers an abundance of food, rides, live music and shows, contests, and entertainment. It's not Disney World. No one is in control, scripting every experience. It's total improv, and we are all participating in it. That's life on our beautiful planet. Infinite possibility and variety. We all imagine it. We construct it, and we care for it. We create the rides. We create the food, the games, and entertainment. We design and manage the experiences, the aesthetics, and the environment. Everyone gets a free pass, but no one can get out. And no one has any idea when his or her ticket gets punched. This is it. Your life in the park is the result of the spontaneous arising and interactions of countless people and events, accidental meetings and unpredictable combinations of choice and luck. The idea that you can choose a particular path, control your journey, and it will create an unambiguously positive or negative effect on your happiness, it's a complete illusion. Just ask movie stars and lottery winners. You think they're like the happiest people in the world? Look, your journey through the park is yours. It's designed for you to discover and live your unique potential. Yes, you can strive to live in a castle and direct some of the cast. Or you can throw a ball into a hoop, swing from the trapeze, work the hot dog cart, or sweep the pass. But you are still just one of the many, many people experiencing the park. Nothing more, nothing less. And when your ticket does eventually get punched, which it inevitably will, it ends the same way for you as it does for everyone else. You walk out pretty much alone, and you get to take nothing with you. No accumulated rolls of coupons, no gigantic stuffed animals, nothing. So what matters most? It's obvious, isn't it? Since there's no destination, there's nowhere to go. It's the quality of your experience in the park that matters. It's your opportunity to discover your essential self, that fearless energy that aches to become what it is, and which seeks rewarding experiences and relationships. You have the chance to experience love just like everyone else. You can discover something meaningful to do that lights up your spirit and engages your heart and mind, just like everyone else. You can love the park and strive in a considerate way to make it and yourself better, just like everyone else. Or you can sit alone on a bench and ride out your time. Or spend all of your time on one game that you don't really like, trying to accumulate more tickets and prizes than everyone else. You see? It's a silly choice, but it's your choice, no one else's. I read somewhere that success is getting what you want, and happiness is wanting what you get. It reminded me of Halloween, my favorite childhood holiday. Right? Witches, black cats, and jack-o'-lanterns, bright eyes, brown paper bags, and old pillowcases. Homemade costumes of gypsies, ghosts, pirates, and hobos. I mean, we were uncomfortable, we looked ridiculous, and the candy selection was meager at best. But we couldn't have cared less because the night for us was magical. It was dark and scary and filled with kids. We were independent and empowered, living in the moment and in it for the experience. We were truly happy. And then something happened. Halloween was brought under control by the purveyors of security and the merchants of success. And so what happened? We went trick-or-treating when it was safe, supervised, during daylight hours, in malls, or on more convenient days. And worse, we started caring and comparing, like our costumes, our candy, and our selfies. We wanted to be successful. Shannon once asked me, somewhat rhetorically, why is success viewed as happiness? Why isn't happiness viewed as success? Now that's a profound and critically important question, and a choice that's all yours. I mean, you can choose fear, discomfort, and excitement, the thrill of living an incomparable life, or you can settle for comfort, comparisons, and possession, the familiar measurement of progress, of success. But, you may be wondering, isn't that a false distinction? I mean, can I have both? Of course you can. Once you finally realize that happiness is success and not the other way around. Our society is fixated on the achievement of success and happiness, and the irony is that obsessing over those slippery concepts is what moves us further and further away from them. It's like trying to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more anxious and awake you become. So what's the solution? Relax. Trust life. Bob Dylan proclaimed you're a success if you get up in the morning and go to bed at night, and in between, you do what you want to do. Gandhi said happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Combine those two ideas and it's pretty simple. Do what you want to do and do it in harmony with your inner self. But that appears to be a confusing concept, right? I mean, it was comically expressed by Charles Schulz's Beagle philosopher, Snoopy. My life has no purpose, no direction, no aim, no meaning, and yet I'm happy. I can't figure it out. What am I doing right? You see, what he's doing right is called negative capability. Success and happiness come from dropping your self-important identity, giving up the chase for certainty and comfort, and letting go of the need to figure everything out. It's another paradox. Success is a journey to the place where you already are. The experience of living fully and passionately right here, right now. And again, it is your choice. Now, you may feel that you don't have a choice because of, I don't know, your circumstances. But look, everyone has circumstances. That's the nature of the amusement park and the challenge of the journey, to rise to your circumstances, to let them teach you what they can. As the great Spanish philosopher Jose Ortega y Gasset wrote, I am I and my circumstance. And if I don't save it, I don't save myself. Have you ever seen the movie The Shawshank Redemption? It's all about circumstances and transcending those conditions to experience the fullness of being. In the movie, Andy Dufresne, played by Tim Robbins, he's a successful banker who's sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences for the murder of his wife and her lover, and is sent to the notoriously harsh Shawshank State Penitentiary. Now, only Andy knows that he's innocent, but his stoic attitude leads many to doubt him. While in prison, Andy befriends some of the other inmates, in particular a character known as Red, played by Morgan Freeman. And over the years, the two men bond and they find redemption in their compassionate and creative relationship. Andy stays true to himself in the harsh prison, and he finds ways to live his essence by helping others. As he says to Red, I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living or get busy dying. And that truth, Andy's hopeful spirit and determination, change the prisoners' lives and move them and the audience into a world of possibility, one filled with enthusiasm and courage. You see, the Shawshank Redemption reveals the truth that anyone can be free, even in prison, or they can be a prisoner, even in relative freedom, all based on their approach to life. And that is the same discovery made by Viktor Frankl during his incarceration in Nazi concentration camps. In his riveting memoir, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl wrote, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. To choose one's own way. Do you see? Although no one is free from their circumstances, it doesn't define their essence, how they create themselves out of those conditions. It's our minds that are our true prisons and not the circumstances of our lives. And it is never too late to escape that prison and become truer to yourself, to make the choice to lead a more meaningful and authentic life, and to stretch yourself into a wide open future. Because you are not a character in a story, defined by some ridiculous imaginary past. And the end of your life is not the point of your life. And your backstory does not dictate your future. You're the energy of the universe uniquely manifested for an unknown period of time as you.